Oh my god. I just finished watching NXT TakeOver New York. And let me just say, what a hell of a show. I enjoyed every bit of it. The main event had me on the edge of my seats. Every match delivered as expected. And for the most part, all of my predictions except for one was on point. I mean, because for the first match, I said the War Raiders were going to retain. That's exactly what happened. The Velveteen Dream Matt Riddle match, I said Velveteen Dream was going to retain. That's exactly what happened. The only match I was off on, I said Pete Dunne. When he went against Peter, I said that Walter was going to win the belt, and he did. The only thing I was wrong on was when I said either Leo Sherrod or Bianca Belair was going to win a women's NXT title, and that really blew me that Shayna Baszler is still the NXT Women's Champion, even after all this time she's held the belt. Because at this point, she's been the NXT Women's Champion ever since Evolution of last year, so it's really getting annoying that she has yet to lose the belt. It's killing me that they just can't seem to have her drop it for whatever reason. But NXT TakeOver, man, amazing show from top to bottom. Um, so let's get right into it, man. So first up, you had the War Raiders against Ricochet, Aleister Black. Obviously, like I said, if you guys, and I know you haven't tuned in to the prediction I did just the other day on TakeOver, but check that out because I actually say in that video that the War Raiders are going to win because, by Ricochet and Aleister Black recently being called up to the main roster. It doesn't really make sense. It wouldn't have made any sense for them to actually win the belt and things of that nature. So, so I knew the War Raiders were going to win, but it was a really good match between both teams. We saw the as usual, we saw the high flying from Ricochet. We saw a point where they were all down, we saw a point in the match where they were all laid down. When each of them went for a move, I think Alistair went for a moonsault. Then one of the War Raiders went for a suicide dive. The Ricochet ended up going for like a moonsault, and then the other War Raiders went for a move outside the ring. So like all of them were down. It was a really intense match. One of the best parts of the match was when the War Raiders hit their tag team finishing move. I forget what it's called. Ricochet, and literally Aleister Black came from the top rope and hit a double stomp to stop the finisher, to stop the pin. And then what was even better was when Aleister Black hit one of the War Raiders with the black mass, and Ricochet went for a shooting star press. Out of nowhere, I'm sorry because I don't know these guys' names, but the bigger guy in the War Raiders picked up Aleister Black and literally pushed him towards Ricochet to stop the pin. Like, that was incredible. The match was really good, top to bottom. Mutual respect for both teams. At the end of the match, Aleister Black and Ricochet got a standing ovation because, normally when a team is called up to, normally when someone from NXT is called up to the main roster, or even if someone loses the title and they have a match the night before WrestleMania, in this case, 2 nights before WrestleMania, it usually means that that's kind of like their farewell matchup in NXT. And it's not to say they'll never come back, because you've had people like Tyler Breeze come back. You've had, Sasha Banks and Bayley come back, even though they didn't actually have a match. Tyler Breeze did have an incredible match with Ricochet. But you have people come back every once in a while. But, they always have that farewell match where they Like when Shinsuke, uh, when Shinsuke, you knew he was getting called up to the main roster once he lost against Bobby Roode in a rematch for the NXT Championship. So in this case here, you knew that this was pretty much it for them as far as NXT. I don't think they'll have any other reason of being on all three brands. I think that pretty much puts an end to them being in NXT. And that kind of leads into them probably most likely being the favorites to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles. As much as I would want the Usos to retain WrestleMania, it just seems like they'll probably be the favorites to win because normally whenever a team or someone loses the night before WrestleMania comes around, they end up winning. I mean, in this case, I think them doing that will probably finally determine which show they're going to be on if they're truly trying to keep the brand split going. If they're not, then they'll probably still appear on both shows. But if they are, then that would pretty much really show which show they're going to be on. So there you go with that. Excellent match by both teams. Really mutual respect of how they bowed down to Ricochet and Aleister Black after they retained their titles. And I knew this was going to happen also because, I mean, War Raiders have only been champions for about 3 months now, 2.5 months, almost 3. They won the belts in the Undisputed Era at the last TakeOver in Phoenix. That was an incredible match too. Just so much back and forth action by these guys. Several kicks, several big kicks that Aleister Black hit on these guys. It was just, I love how the one guy in War Raiders can do that cartwheel, and the fact that he went from the top rope like he did. I mean, for someone his size to do that, it's just amazing. You see it with Kevin O, you see it with a lot of other guys, but it's just amazing when I see guys that big that can do things like that. It's just incredible. So this was a hell of a matchup right here. Great way to start off the show. I enjoyed every bit of it. I knew the War Raiders were going to retain the belts going into it, and that's just a sign that this is pretty much the ending point for Aleister Black and Ricochet and NXT. They're going to be on the main rosters now. Hopefully, they stay on the one and not keep showing up on both. Try to get to know it and keep having roster. So next up, you had Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. This match was interesting. Velveteen Dream came out with a really dope entrance. I mean, when he came out, it was like Statue of Liberty type thing, and I didn't think he was going to come out like that. Patrick Clark always had some type of unique way he comes out. Like when he went against Tommaso Ciampa at the last table he was at, he wrestled in, which was War Games. He dressed up as Hulk Hogan. And this time he actually dressed up like Statue of Liberty type thing. So I really like the creativity that Velveteen Dream puts into his entrances. I hope that he'll be able to do that when he does get called up to the main roster, when he gets his WrestleMania moment. I hope he's able to actually dress up like these type of things that have these really dope entrances, because this was really a great entrance right here, in my opinion. I think the way he came out was really cool. But again, in all these matches, you had mixed crowds. First match of War Raiders, Ricochet, Aleister Black, had a crowd cheering for both teams. This was the same way. You had half the people saying "bro" count for cheering for Matt Riddle, half the crowd chanting for the Velveteen Dream. Just a really great match. Just a really good fan reaction here. This was a pretty good match. Matt Riddle pretty much dominated most of the match with using his MMA background. He had Velveteen Dream in a submission hold more than once, and Velveteen managed to grab the rope several times to stop himself from submitting. And we've seen a lot of old moves here being used from other legends and Hall of Famers. We've seen the Velveteen go for a famouser, which is something that Billy Gunn does, and they're about to be inducted tomorrow night. We saw him use it looked like a code breaker, but it was kind of surprising that he used that, considering the beef that they have with Chris Jericho right now, not even allowing him to step any foot in the WWE. We've seen him use. He tried to go for the leg drop on Hulk Hogan again, the same way he did with Tommaso Ciampa. We've seen him try to go for that. That was pretty cool. You know, to see that again. Him paying homage to Hulk Hogan once again. Um, we just seen. I always notice, but the Velveteen Dream character, people like to say that he can't be original. You know, he likes to mock other people. Even when he was shaking towards Matt Riddle, he was paying homage to Rick Rude when he did that, which really makes me wonder why everyone in DX Rick Rude did not get inducted. If you're really going to hold the grudge of him going to WCW the same night that he was in WWF, which technically that wasn't the case because WWF was pre-recorded at the time, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know what the reason why they haven't inducted him. If that is the reason, that's really ridiculous at this point. The man's been dead for over a decade, almost 2 decades at this point. But anyway, a really good matchup here. Like I said, Matt Riddle was really taking most of the he was taking it to Velveteen Dream. He almost because I was rooting for Velveteen Dream throughout the match because I knew the Velveteen Dream was going to retain some way or another, and he did, and he retained by actually reversing. He managed to pin Matt Riddle as he had him in a submission, which was amazing. Like, I love the way they ended the match like that. I mean, because otherwise, I really don't know any other way they could have ended the match because Matt Riddle pretty much had him on his boots throughout the whole, time these guys match. It was really, really intense. A lot of kicking offense in this match. Velveteen Dream went up the top rope a couple of times. He got caught in a German suplex from outside the ring. And the most incredible thing I seen in this match was, so there were two different German suplexes. One of them was outside of the ring, when the Velveteen Dream tried to go from an elbow drop from the top rope. Matt Riddle countered to a German suplex. The other German suplex I seen him do was just unbelievable. Like, Matt Riddle picked up the Velveteen Dream from the ropes, German suplexed him all the way from the top rope. Like, not even he didn't even climb the top rope, but like right on the ropes, he did a German suplex. That was incredible. And another amazing thing that Matt Riddle did in this match was kind of like a swanton. Now he did a lot of damn, I forget that move. It's like a senton. He did a lot of those throughout the match, but it was when he went for that. It was like a senton. It was kind of like, he had his back turned and he did it from the top rope on the Velveteen Dream, and the Velveteen Dream still kicked out. That had me like losing my shits because you gotta give the Velveteen credit for how much he kicked out in this match. You would have thought that Matt Riddle was going to win the title with how much he had the Velveteen out of it. Like at that point, once he went for that German and Velveteen kicked out of that, that was amazing. And then on top of that, when he went for, it was like a senton from the top rope, and the Velveteen kicked out of that, I was just extremely shocked. Like, that was incredible. So, I would say compared to Matt Riddle's match with Cassius at TakeOver in Phoenix, this was a lot better. That match was pretty physical and pretty nasty in some type of way. But this one, you got to give Matt Riddle a lot of credit for this. Velveteen Dream came out on top. I'm glad he did. He managed to retain the North American Championship. And one of the reasons I was glad that Matt Riddle Velveteen Dream won this match was also because, he hasn't had the best track record when it comes to takeovers. He's always had, pretty good matches at takeovers. The only match that I didn't really think was that good was the match he had with EC3. And besides that, the one he had with Cassius Ohno, it's just Cassius Ohno, let's be honest here. But like his match with Ricochet, when he was in the ladder match in New Orleans, even his match with Aleister Black, which was like his breakout match. Majority of his single matches at takeovers have stolen the show. Like they've been incredible. His match with Tommaso Ciampa was out, blew the house off the wall. And this match right here, it didn't steal the show, but it was an incredible match. It was absolutely incredible. Like I said, Matt Riddle had most of the offense throughout this match. He had, Velveteen Dream so many submission holds. He had him in a triangle choke. He had him in the arm bar a couple of times. He had him in so many submission holds, and Velveteen Dream managed to grab to the ropes each and every time. Velveteen, like I said, was paying homage to a lot of different guys in this matchup. He actually managed to super kick Matt Riddle more than once in this match. It was just incredible how they ended off this match and did the little bro fist bump after Velveteen Dream retained. First, I thought Matt Riddle. I mean, for his character, you wouldn't think someone like him would be ill. He kind of reminds me a lot like Zack Ryder. And it kind of looked like that was happening, but then he just shook hands with Velveteen Dream, and once again you have two baby faces going against each other. What it was. That's another story about this takeover, is that you really, up into the women's match, you really didn't have like a heel versus babyface dynamic. Like the majority of these matches were babyface versus babyface, with the exception of the women's match and the main event. Every match prior to that was like babyface versus babyface. And so, that match right there, man, really good matchup. It was kind of slow at the beginning because, both guys were trying to see how much the crowd was going to cheer for them. 1 minute, Velveteen Dream put his hand out to see how much the crowd would cheer for him. And Matt Riddle put his hand out to see how much the crowd would chant for him. And then they, did some chain wrestling, trying to tie up with each other and stuff. So it took a while for the match to really get underway. But once it started to go, it was top notch. And you got to give, like I said, Matt Riddle a lot of credit for using his MMA background, but still managing to use a lot of other moves in his arsenal besides just his MMA style. So that was pretty cool to see that. So next up, you got probably the most I don't want to say disturbing, but just the most intensive, just all types of things you can word it match I've ever seen with Walter and Pete Dunne. Again, another match I was correct on. I said that Walter was going to win the North American Championship. The only thing was, I said that I didn't like the fact of how you got other guys who's been in UK who could have easily beaten Pete Dunne for the championship, but they picked this guy Walter to do it. And it kind of just makes it seem like the guys who's been there, like they've been busting their ass and they don't get paid off for it, And like with Walter winning the championship now, it's like, are you going to have him be champion just as long as Pete Dunne is? Now the question is, how long, who's going to beat Walter? Because it's really no one on NXT UK that they would really book to beat Walter for the championship anytime soon. If they had Pete Dunne be champion that long, I certainly don't see them having anyone beat Walter for the championship. But this match right here, man, it was a lot of the same stuff throughout the match, but it was very intensive. A lot of chops that Walter gave to Pete Dunne. Even Pete Dunne was giving Walter chops. A lot of pulling fingers and, just pulling all parts of the bone. I mean, when you look at this, it just makes you want to touch yourself how intensive and crazy this match was. I mean, this match was just all over the place. Just so many different things happened in this match. Both guys Both guys really broke it, though. I mean, you can give that to him. I mean, for Pete Dunne to lose the championship the way he did, he's got nothing to be ashamed of. He's got nothing to be ashamed of. And he kicked out of a lot of pinfalls that would really have made you believe that he was going to retain the belt, especially when he managed to hit Walter with the bitter end. I didn't even think he would have been able to uh, manage to hit that move on Walter, and Walter kicked out of it. Everything that he gave to Walter, even the point where it looked as if he was going to break Walter's hand, and Walter still managed to stay into the match, still managed to kick out of everything and break out of every submission, from every triangle choke to every part of his bone that Pete Dunne pulled on. And even he got onto even he got onto Pete Dunne. You could see Pete Dunne's chest with the amount of chops, and he was just chopping and chopping and chopping. And even Pete Dunne was chopping Walter, but he was slapping Walter in the face as well. And it was just absolutely crazy with the amount of things we've seen in this match. Like it was truly all over the place. This match right here, man, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just one of those matches that you say, wow, this is brutal. Because that's exactly what it was. It was a brutal, brutal match. It was, as a retain, it was just one of those matches. The crowd was kind of silent during this match. And I don't think it was because of them not liking it or anything, because they were cheering, during the match, but it was just because of the appreciativity of watching these two guys from UK go at it like this. This was just one of those matches where you just kind of sit back and you look at, how appreciative, especially with that missile drop kick that Walter held to Pete Dunne, with the way how he launches his foot like that and actually managed to hit Pete Dunne in the way he did. It was just crazy. I mean, so many things happened in this match that just, really have you think, especially seeing Walter go to the top rope. I don't think Walter is a top rope type of guy, but to see him do that and go for like a splash or so from the top rope, and I think he went for it in two occasions. The first time that he went for it, Pete Dunne had kicked out. The second time was when he won, which is when, I don't know. I think the first time he tried to go for it, Pete Dunne stopped him. Yeah, he came up to the rope and he stopped him, and that's where he got him. That's where he picked him up, hit him with a gigantic power bomb from the top rope. Went up to the rope again, went for a big splash, and that was it. That was the match right there. And Pete Dunne managed to win the UK Championship. There was no shaking hands in this one like how the last two matches were. This match right here, 685 days Pete Dunne was champion, and he's got nothing to shame. He's got no reason to be ashamed. It's just, I just really wonder how long are they going to go with this Walker thing and him being champion, because by them having Pete Dunne be champion for so long, it just makes me wonder, how long is Pete Dunne going to hold this belt? I would hope he doesn't hold it that long, but given that Pete Dunne did it, they probably feel like, well, let's have Walter win the championship too. But I just personally think that, when someone holds a belt that long, that it really takes away from other guys. And it's not to say that I don't really know a lot of guys from the UK, because I don't particularly watch NXT UK because I don't have the network, but I do tend to look at some highlights kind of stuff from the UK. And I just think that by them doing that, it kind of takes away from other guys. But I do think, it's going to be interesting to see how long Walter holds this belt. He dethroned Pete Dunne in a really this is a really good match, but it was I don't know, man. I just think at some points it did get very slow. You know, at some points they were kind of doing the same things all over again. But you know, it was what it was. You know, you saw Pete Dunne go for his lightning moves. Just the thing with pulling people's hands and pulling their foot and all that type of stuff is really painful to watch, especially to see it happen more than once. And how much he pulled into Walter's veins like that. For Walter to have the decency, the audacity. And I know Walter's probably used to this type of stuff because he's wrestled all over the world, but you know, and Walter is a badass. But you know, it's like, man, this was just this was crazy. This was a really crazy match, and you know, Pete Dunne finally, um, you know, he finally lost the UK Championship. Um, so, man, he's finally been dethroned after almost 2 years of holding the championship. And I've been saying it for a while. It's like, you know, who's gonna beat this guy? Because I mean, after a while, when you see the same person as champion, you just really sit back and you're like, who's going to beat this guy when someone holds the belt for that long? That's what I was saying when AJ Styles didn't be champion for as long as he was. I was like, who? You know, when is AJ Styles going to lose the belt? When he first won it from Jinder Mahal, I was like happy, but then after a while, I just kind of started to get annoyed because it wasn't like he was facing, you know, any bad type of guys. He was having high profile matches, you know, but you know, a lot of favorite matches didn't live up to expectations. But you know, after as time went on, he had a lot of high profile matches, but it was just like, you know, after the Samoa Joe feud ended, and what Samoa Joe could beat him, which I thought he was going to be the guy to beat him for the title, and it didn't happen. I'm just like, who the heck is going to beat him for the title? It ended up being Daniel Bryan. You know, when someone you know, holds the championship that long, it's just like, who's going to beat him for the title? You really wonder. He just questioned for so long, who the heck is going to beat this guy? Eventually, you want to see it happen. And Walter was the guy to do it. He said he was going to do it, and that's exactly what happened. Walter Pete Dunne in one of the most hard-fitting matchups, probably the whole night, with the amount of pulling and just all types of things that we see happen in this match. Just, oh my goodness, it was just all over the place. Um, and at one point, I remember Pete Dunne got hit with his first powerbomb uh, by Walter, and he kicked out of it. But when he went for the one for the top rope, that was pretty strange. At that point, he went for the splash, and it was over. So, um, I would have liked to see Pete hit more than one bitter end. Because I remember in his match at Blackpool, he hit at least three bitter ends. The dude he went against, Joe Coffey or whatever, had kicked out all three of them. That's when he put him in submission, trying to break his hand and tapped out. But with this one, Walter managed to get grabbed to the ropes to prevent tapping out. And, you know, like I said, you got to give Walter a lot of credit for that. So, really, really intense matchup right there. Next up, this was probably the most disappointing for me in terms of how it ended. Was the women NXT Women's Championship match between Lois Ride, you know, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, and everything. I said, you know, I thought that Shayna's would finally be the night Shayna will lose the belt, and boy was I wrong. And I felt so bad because like whenever someone you just know you're gonna lose the belt and it doesn't happen. You just sit back and like, man, when are they gonna lose the championship belt? Like, when are they gonna lose the belt? You just sit back and you wonder when the heck are they gonna lose the belt? It's like, I don't know, man. It's freaking crazy to me. Like, I sit back and I'm just like, who's gonna beat this woman? It was a great match for all three women. Um, Bianca Belair really looked good in this match. She had a lot of big moments. You know, Kairi Sane looked pretty good. Her and her friend eventually went toe to toe with each other after doing a lot of teaming up with Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair. They eventually went toe to toe with each other. But it was a really good match between all four women. Shayna Baszler, as much as I don't like her, as much as I didn't want her to retain the belt, I mean, she did look pretty good in this match as well. Really, moonsaults, stuff on the apron, just everything you can imagine happened in this match, and it just kind of blew me how the person that tapped out to Shayna was Bianca Belair. And at Phoenix, she didn't tap out; she passed out. This time they had her tap out. And that just really blew me, and they did that. All people who could have tapped her, they picked to have it be Bianca Belair. I don't know what their issue with Bianca Belair is, but it was just really annoying to see that. This time, unlike the last time where she didn't tap, this time she did tap. So it was pretty annoying to see that. Um, but like I said, man, the match, it was what it was. All the women looked good in here. I love when Bianca goes for the whip with her hair, but the crazy part was when Shayna grabbed her hair and smacked it right to the apron. That was pretty vicious. Every woman hit their finisher here, and the first time that Bianca hit her finisher was with Shayna, and it got stopped, I believe, by Kairi Sane. I wasn't sure one of them stopped it. And then, Shirai hit her finisher. It got stopped by Kairi Sane. So it was just like every woman you could imagine, the tension, the heat that they were going to have winning the belts. Actually, when Kairi Sane hit the elbow drop on Shayna Baszler, it got stopped by Shirai. And it was like, man, this was a crazy title. I thought that Shayna for sure was going to lose the belt. I'm not going to spend too much time on this matchup, mainly because just the results really made me lose my mind. I mean, I don't understand this thing with Shayna being champion for as long as she's been. I don't get it. I don't understand. And I was hoping that she would lose the belt, and that's not what happened. So she retained the belt. And, so really, if you think about it, we only had one actual title change. The NXT Championship was a title change, but it was relinquished. But as far as someone actually being champion, we really only had one title change. So, Shayna retained the belt, and I guess really the question is, at this point, who can be Shayna? Because the next takeover for them won't be until either June, July. Usually, there's only about 4 or 5 takeovers a year, so the next one probably won't be until June, July, around the event or something like that. Would be the next takeover. So, the question by that point would be who is the same way how we've been questioning PW leadership or who's gonna beat Shayna Baszler at this point. I mean, I just don't see any other woman on NXT right now that's worthy of taking the belt off her. I just don't see it. Maybe her retaining the belt is a sign that she won't interfere in the main event of WrestleMania. Or maybe she still will interfere. I just don't know what this really means. So, you know, it just kind of got me thinking. So next up, you have the main event. Mr. Takeover, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole. This match had me on my seat. This match had me on my seat. This match is probably already in the rankings of being match of the year material already. I think this match was even better than the match that Johnny had at Ricochet. Even though that match there was no interference. The only thing for me that I didn't like about this was the fact that they interfered. But even though they interfered, Johnny Gargano was kicking out at everything. Like, Adam Cole gave it everything he had. Everything. Kick after kick. Even hit him with his finisher. And he kicked out of that. I mean, everything. Now, this was a 2 out of 3 falls match, which I failed to mention in my prediction. This was a 2 out of 3 falls matchup. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. This match was everything you could ask for, from top to bottom. And every Johnny Gargano match he's had never seems to disappoint. It never seems to disappoint. And I am so glad that Johnny got his moment. Because, you know, a lot of people were saying, and I said in my prediction, I wanted Johnny to win, but I just felt like they were going to give it to Adam Cole. And, you know, don't get me wrong. I really like Adam Cole. You know, Adam Cole's incredible. But I really wanted Johnny to have his moment because this would have probably been the scene if Tommaso Ciampa didn't get hurt. You know, if Tommaso Ciampa didn't have the neck problems, this would have been the scene. He would have finally beat Tommaso Ciampa for the championship at NXT TakeOver, and it would have put an end to their long year rivalry, one of the greatest rivalries in NXT of all time. It would have put an end to that by him dethroning Tommaso Ciampa and winning the NXT Championship. And for him to do that against Adam Cole was absolutely incredible. The first fall went to Adam Cole. You know, Adam Cole hit Johnny Gargano's move, and that was it for Johnny. So he won the first fall. The second fall went to Johnny Gargano after he made Adam Cole. Adam Cole actually tapped out pretty fast in the second fall. I didn't expect him to tap out as fast as he did. I kind of thought that he was gonna do the same thing he did at the end of the match, where he tried to hold on. But this match here, but in the second fall, he tapped out pretty quick. As soon as he locked him in, he tapped out. But it took a while for the second fall to happen. I mean, the first fall probably happened quicker than the second fall. I love it when Johnny does the spear from the ropes. Like, I love when he does that. That was incredible when he did that. You know, I'm just thinking everything that Adam hit on Johnny in this match, like everything, kick after kick. He hit him with the shotgun, whatever you call it. He kicked out of that. And he didn't hit him just once with that move. Like, he hit him like at least 2 times with that move in the match. And he kicked out both times with the shotgun. I mean, holy shit. If, there's a guy I'm subscribed to who, I know a lot of you guys look at him, BW. He has a long YouTube name, but he does holy shit videos. And I'm pretty sure that the next holy shit video he does, he's going to include this match in one of those holy shits. Because this match all the way through, which is literally make you say holy shit. This was one of those matches that had me off the edge of my seat because I wanted Johnny to win so bad that it almost seemed unbelievable for Johnny to get his moment. And the crazy part was when Adam Cole had actually, so they came outside the ring. Now, there were 2 different times they were outside the ring. The first time they were outside of the ring, Johnny could have actually won the second fall by count out, but he didn't want to win that way. So then Adam just kind of took advantage of it because he wasn't trying to win the match by count out. The second time they were outside the ring, Johnny was pulling his energy up. He managed to, he was trying to put Adam Cole on an announce table, but Adam Cole countered it and hit Johnny through the announce table. Didn't break, but he hit Johnny on the announce table. And I thought at that point that was going to be it for Johnny. I thought Johnny was going to lose by count out. I was like, this is the worst way to end off this match, is by losing by count out, by the final fall being awarded to Adam Cole by count out. But literally at the count of 9, Johnny managed to run into the ring and stop the count. Like, that just had me on my seats. And like, you had Johnny go for 2 springboard DDTs or slingshot DDTs, and both times Adam kicked out. And like I said, Adam went for everything he had. The Shining Wizard, the shotgun, everything he could nail at Johnny, and Johnny kicked out of everything. I mean, what more can you get? And at the point where the ref was down and the Undisputed Era got involved, and he still managed to kick out. And I for sure thought that at that point, once he hit him with the second shotgun, that was it. That he would get screwed because of Undisputed Era helping Adam Cole. And that's not what happened. That's not what happened. He still managed. Still, even after that, managed to kick out. I mean, the amount of kickouts we see in this match was incredible. This was all you can ask for. Johnny, it was a mixed crowd, half Adam Cole, half for Johnny Gargano. Johnny truly is Mr. TakeOver. I think that it's going to be interesting to see when when they called him onto the main roster, you could tell that it was bad timing, because I kind of put that as the reason as to why Tommaso Ciampa is in the position he was in. He was already injured, but he was trying to work it off, and he wasn't going to actually get the surgery until after TakeOver. So he was going to lose the belt regardless because he needed to get the surgery. But because it was so bad, they told him, "Hey man, you gotta, we need you to get the surgery now." So he had to relinquish the belt. But Tommaso Ciampa. Also, we saw Johnny use a lot of moves in tribute for Tommaso Ciampa. We seen him go for Tommaso Ciampa's submission with the armbar. We seen him go for that. Well, it wasn't really armbar. It was like he grabs your arm and pulls it back. We seen him go for that during the matchup. We seen him go for a DIY kick during the matchup. He did a lot of things in tribute for Tommaso Ciampa during this match. Adam Cole managed to break out of each and every one of this, so you could tell that him and Tommaso Ciampa, and usually when guys are feuding with each other, they usually are pretty good friends in real life. You can tell that these two, even throughout their feud, they're pretty good friends in real life. The first move he did with Tommaso Ciampa from the top rope on Adam Cole. The second one was Tommaso Ciampa's submission move that he does. Apologize for not being good on his names, but he paid a lot of tribute to Tommaso Ciampa, and it was nice to see how everything ended up. And before you knew it, the best part of the match, man, was when freaking Johnny put him in a submission for the final time, and Tommaso Ciampa, and Adam Cole was done. He made sure he took out each of the Undisputed Era. He went for a suicide dive. It was like he was feeling the moment. He was feeling the moment, and he locked him in, and that was it. He almost tried to grab the ropes, but he stopped him, and Adam tapped, and you could just feel how happy and amazed the crowd was. To my mind, one of the greatest matches of this year. Already like top match of the year caliber. Adam Cole, John Gargano, you are my man, John. Every takeover you steal the shit up. Almost every takeover you have great matches. And this was the best one yet of them all. Absolutely amazing. Johnny, you are Mr. Takeover. And he is the new NXT champion. And, at this point you can say that by him the NXT champion, I can see him staying in NXT for a longer time. This is why Vince trying to bring these guys up with that timing. He should have just kept on NXT. He should have had them on Raw and SmackDown at all. He should have just had them stay in NXT. Because that's all they need. There's no reason for them to be anywhere else. There's no reason for them to be anywhere else. They were still trying to finish up the feud. It didn't make any sense. But man. Congratulations, John. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, I'm going to wrap it up right here, guys. So, that all for this. They do this invitation. Wasn't actually going to do it today until I watched it.